Learnt loads. I'd take that, that's on the wall. I'm fully aware of.
As soon as I go in here with the 24mm. It's time for Johnny's lesson to start now.
Welcome back to another Football Fun Factory YouTube video, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching Johnny Martin, who's just over my shoulder there, how to capture photos. So let's see if Johnny, the superstar head coach, can also become a superstar photographer this evening. Ben, do you think Johnny's going to be a great photographer?
It's going to be no good, isn't it? We'll find out.
Sam, what are we saying? Johnny, yay or nay photographer?
Yeah, we're back in.
We're backing Johnny. And then Kiefer?
My friend Johnny Martin can do anything.
They all back you for the photos.
I'm the best photographer at the Football Fun Factory already. I'd take that, that's on the wall.
No, I took that one actually.
No, unbelievable photo. Magic moment.
He is talented, to be fair, but we're going to get him even better now. So we have made it to Linton Village College, ready for Johnny's lesson to start. How excited are you for your lesson, Johnny?
Yeah, very excited. I always want to try and level up and become the best version of myself, and who better to learn from than the master that is Ollie Kane.
It's time for Johnny's lesson to start now. I need an SD card in the camera, otherwise all the wonderful pictures that we're going to teach Johnny to take won't be captured anywhere.
I just want to make perfectly clear, everything so far that Ollie has mentioned, I'm fully aware of.
We are using a 24-70 at the moment, so 24mm is really good because it captures a nice wide shot. 70 is good because you can then zoom in on it. Currently very dark. What we're going to do is we're going to bump up this thing here called the ISO. You can see we've now gone from 1000 to 6400, which is much brighter, so we can see what's going on. Then we have got the 1/320, so that's our shutter speed that we're going to do. With photos, we need to have a little bit higher because we're going to want to bump the shutter speed up just to basically freeze the action that's happening.
Because that's how quickly it goes.
Yeah, because it's so dark out, we're going to have the aperture at f2.8. As you put the aperture higher up, it's then going to make the image darker. So we've sort of got a wide variety of different, it's a bit like maths almost. Everything's got to add up to make the perfect picture sort of thing.
When you buy lenses, why is more or less light good?
So the more light that a camera lens can let in basically means that you can have lower ISO numbers. If you have a low ISO, it basically means that it's going to be things like less grain, the picture's going to be like less, it's just going to be a nicer image because you have the ISO lower. You'll typically get like a f1.8, which is like, that's the one that can let in the most light typically. f2.8, which is what we've got on this lens here and also our zoom lens. But when you're here this evening and it's tougher conditions to shoot in, this f2.8 is really good because like we can use all the light. We don't need to put the ISO up so high. We can still have a high shutter speed to capture the content that we want.
So just asked Ollie, obviously with the different lights, as you can see behind me, we've got spotlights, floodlights all around us. So therefore the different lighting across the different areas of the pitch is very different. So we've got hard conditions, according to Ollie, to shoot in tonight, because if you're facing this way, there's more natural light from the, or not natural, but more light from the floodlights, whereas if you're then here, slightly less, so you have to keep changing it as you go. But so far so good, very interesting.
If I'm shooting on a 24mm, it's not going to be very wide, you're not really going to capture much of the emotion of what's going on. But as soon as I go in here with the 24mm, so what I've done there, Johnny was obviously talking about he likes the zoom lens and sort of struggles a little bit maybe with using the wide angle lens. So what Johnny does sometimes is he'll be on the edge of the pitch and you'll use the zoom lens, and you use that zoom lens to get the close-ups on the faces, all the sort of action, and you can do the exact same thing by getting in with the wide angle lens. But because you've got right in amongst the action, you're capturing like the rawness of that emotion a bit better. So I think like there's no, and it comes down to sort of personal preference and styles and stuff. I quite like getting in amongst it and sort of shoving the camera in people's faces because it gets like a bit more of a fun reaction out of it. You can get the exact same emotion that the kids show in our programs through the zoom lens or the wide angle lens. It's just one of those ones of personal preference. I think a mix of both of those is good. So what we'll do now is we'll switch over to the zoom lens and Johnny will show you what he does to capture that content the exact same way, the exact same depth of field and stuff, but just a different way of doing it.
So okay, if you're in the office and obviously the shutter speed can be lower because people are standing still.
Standing about
what does that then do to the other numbers, and would you change it?
So typically I would always shoot f2.8 just because that's kind of my style. I like the blur in the background and stuff. But what you can do is you can put your aperture up a little bit, which creates less depth of field. So when we shot our massive group photo at the franchise conference, that was 4 rows of head coaches. So we needed a higher aperture to have less depth of field to get everyone's face in focus. So that would have been shot at something like f5.6. So in those situations where, say, we're sat in the office and you're at the front of the picture and then you've got James sat behind you and I want to get both of you in shot, I would put the aperture number up.
I've now got my favourite lens, the Whopper, as I like to call it.
f2.8 again.
Nice. See all the kids, they're running around making silly faces anyway. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more patient with the zoom lens, but when you capture it, and I think that's why I love the zoom lens even more, is because when you do capture a shot with the zoom lens, it is that real special moment as a photographer or when you're taking photos, because you almost have to be a little bit patient and you have to wait for that little key moment to capture that snippet. Whereas when you've got a wider lens and you can get in and amongst it, all the kids get all excitable, and I guess you don't get the same reward.
No. So now what we're going to do is, I've obviously taught Johnny how all the different settings work. So now Johnny's going to give me a masterclass on capturing different magic moments we've got our Football Fun and Development. Then we're going to bring you to the office tomorrow. We're going to go through what Johnny's captured and see how he done.
Cool, so first things first, I'm obviously going to check that I'm happy with all the settings that Ollie's now taught me, and we're going into matches. So for me, I want to capture those magic moments, and in a match, the magic moment is the kids scoring. So I'm going to position myself at one end of the pitch, where all the goals are going in, and I'm going to make sure that I have a bit of a player cam. I stay on one player as they're dribbling, as they're about to take their shot, so I can then capture their reaction when they then score and celebrate. And that's one thing I'll then do, is I'll watch the whole group, I'll see who's extra animated, who loves celebrating when their team scores, and then I'll just go player cam on that person to capture that special shot. So this little lad with the ponytail / top knot is running around with a big smile on his face. He's tackling, he's all action, so I'm just going to follow him around, get a bit of player cam on him and try and get some magic moments captured.
Key takeaways, Johnny?
Yeah, mate, really good. Learnt loads. Probably underappreciated how hard it is with regards to shooting under floodlights, because changing your angle constantly to get different shots and different types of photos, you do have to constantly change the settings on the camera. Got a newfound respect for you, mate.
So there we are, that pretty much brings Johnny's lesson to a close, but it doesn't bring to a close the YouTube video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transition to the next day, and we're going to find ourselves in the office. So after a brilliant shoot last night, teaching Johnny how the camera works, we're now going to teach Johnny how to edit the photos. So we've captured all the photos, but we need to edit them to get them looking their best, ready for social media. So that is what we're going to be showing Johnny today. It's a new day and we're excited to get into it. So Johnny, great shoot last night. Looking forward to learning how to edit the photos now.
Cannot wait. Apologies for looking so tired. I was up late taking pictures.
Cool, so these are the photos that we took out of the camera. So quite flat pictures at the moment.
Good action shots though.
Great action shots, but we're going to make them even better. See, my editing workflow, everyone's different. That then gives it its colour. You can see straight away there's a bit more colour on that.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit dark, I'm going to put the exposure up a little bit.
Okay.
There's no real sort of like
science to it, just do it.
It's just what looks right.
Yeah. Cool.
Someone in the comments will probably be like, you're doing it wrong, Ollie.
Well, if we are doing it wrong, tell us.
Yes, I'm teachers, not professionals here.
You're just winging it.
I'm happy with that to start with. So now I can see that there's quite a difference between those. Go to develop settings and you can copy your settings. So all the settings that I've applied to that. So things like exposure, adding all that sort of stuff. Copy that. And then what I'll do is I'll apply it across all of them.
Cool, should we show a few of our favourites on screen?
Yeah, let's get a few of us. So what we'll do is we'll keep on flicking through and we'll flash a few up on the screen as we go through. Johnny, lesson done. How would you rate my teaching skills out of 5?
6 out of 5.
6 out of 5. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the Football Fun Factor on YouTube and we'll see you in the next one.
I was actually going to say 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later, guys.